Welcome to the Shattered Mindset Podcast, wisdom from life's turning points and defining moments. I'm your host, Melvin Larry, and listen, today's guest is just is somebody special. You know, every now and then you come across somebody whose story doesn't just inspire you, it actually challenges you. And this gentleman, Kendall Ficklin, I've known him for nearly 2 decades. And wow, ever since I was a little boy, you know, and even back, you know, when he was cutting hair and cutting my hair, even, you know, I could see the seeds of leadership that were already growing in him, and he wasn't just shaping fades, man. He was shaping mindsets. So, you know, there was a spark in him that really said that I'm not just meant to be here. I'm meant to build something even bigger. And that's exactly what he has done in his time. Kendall's the founder and the CEO of Grindation and Ficklin Associates, the creator of the 4 Animals framework. Such a powerful thing. And it's a great tool for team and personal development, and the author of several books, including Your Work Has to Match Your Want and Rise and Grind. He's coached leaders, entrepreneurs, and teams across the country, and just helping them to understand not just how to work, but how to grow. But here's the part that I respect most. Kendall doesn't shy away from his own story. He's transparent about his lessons, about his mistakes, and the moments that even forced him to look in the mirror and become the man he was meant to be. And you know, we like to talk about the middle. And he's a husband, he's a father, a leader, and a man of deep purpose, someone whose life reflects the message we stand for right here on the Shattered Mindset Podcast, breaking through limiting beliefs and embracing growth and building a legacy that lasts. So wherever you're listening from or watching from, buckle in, because this conversation is going to stretch you, challenge you, and remind you that your work has to match your want. So let's welcome my brother, Kendall Ficklin.
Man, I got to say, I am honored to sit here. Every time I go somewhere and do something, somebody reads, you know, they read the bio, and it never fails. Number one, I need to update it. But number two, it just reminds me of the journey. And you know, Melvin, what most people don't realize is, I think when we met, it might have been 2001 or 2002.
Around in that time,
Yeah.
you were on South Cobb Drive
Yes.
over there?
Yeah. So, well, we started off, I think, on Spring Road, right? In the little house.
Spring Road, little house.
Yeah.
And then you went to the modular kind of?
Yeah.
Right.
So what happened was, people don't realize it. I started cutting hair, and so moved to Atlanta in 1999 with my wife at the time and 3 children. Sold a cleaning business in New Jersey. And that cleaning business was big. I had 71 Starbucks, all the Starbucks in New York and New Jersey.
Well, you had them.
Cleaning crew, 3 trucks, 25 guys, but I was stressed.
Is that why you sold it?
No, I sold it because I was phenomenal at generating income. I was horrible at managing what I made.
Yeah.
I could go get the accounts. We could manage the accounts, but I used to have to ask my sister, hey, I need 15, 20 grand to make payroll.
Yeah.
And the check will be here in a month or two. And mismanagement of money and resources, and the stress of having to do the day-to-day. So I while I owned a business, what I really owned was a job.
It owned you a little bit.
It owned me. That's even better.
Yeah.
And so I made a decision, told the wife at the time, hey, let's move to Georgia. I want to start over. And so I went to Georgia, didn't have a job, didn't have anything. She had picked up something here in Georgia at an apartment complex, so did that. And I was lucky enough to go into, and I don't even know if they still have recruiting companies.
Yeah, they do.
Technical recruiting company.
I had one.
Oh, yeah. So I went into a technical recruiting company, landed a gig at IBM managing the service support team. And then they called me one day, maybe about 6 or 8 months later, and said, hey, do you have a team? Georgia Pacific is looking to build out their help desk
Now, did you have a degree in IT?
Excuse me?
Did you have a degree in IT?
Excuse me?
I thought that's why you were asking that, because that's a very technical. I used to recruit in the IT field, and there were so many talented people in there.
Man.
For somebody to come in that didn't have that, you gotta.
I graduated high school in 1986.
Yeah.
2 days later, I had no clue what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, my sister called me and said, AT&T is having a job fair. Get your butt down there. I put on, I want to say, man, I had on a white suit, but I know it wasn't white, but it might have been really light beige. So I put on this, oh my, I don't think it was white. It was close to white, yeah, because I remember my mother said, and put that suit on. I'm like, Ma, this is too light. Put it on anyway.
You had been well groomed for job fairs.
Oh my goodness. Job fair. I didn't want to go, but I didn't have a choice. At that time, I still did what my mother said. And so I went there, and just real quick, in 10th grade, my mother made me take typing. I didn't want to take it. I didn't go to class a couple of times, and she threatened me. And so I went and took the typing class, did well. So I go to the job fair. It was an all-day thing. I'd never been to one before, and got to the last part, and they said, all right, we just need you to take this typing test. And I passed the typing test at 35 words a minute.
Wow, that was pretty fast.
Man, I mean, I could do it. I just didn't want to do it because there were no guys in the class. But then I realized I really wanted to be in the class because there was no guys in the class. So passed the typing test, and they brought me into the message center at AT&T. Was in the message center as a first level technical support person. And man, there wasn't no computers out. This was like, this was 1987, 88. And I worked in the message center for about 6 months. An opportunity came over in corporate security. And I'll never forget my first manager's name. His name was Ralph Miola. Ralph Miola. Short guy. He had a technical support team, and I talked my way into it. I knew just enough about technical stuff to get in the door, and got in there with him, and worked with him for a while, and his counterpart was Rich Kopaz. Then I ended up working for Rich. Mm-hmm. We all still work together. Mm-hmm. They taught me the corporate game. Great guys. I'll never forget them. An opportunity came for me to be on desk side support. I'll never forget this gentleman's name. His name was Alan Hockenberg. Sat down on the interview with him.
You had some guys that had some names.
Oh, yeah. This was the 80s. And I'll never forget, I did the interview with him, and he stopped and he said, you don't know nothing about computers, do you? I said, nah. He said, I'm going to give you credit because you BS'd your way all the way through here. He said, take this laptop home and come back in 2 days and show me what you know. And if you can walk me through some things, I'll give you the job. Wow. I got the job.
Wow.
And that was my AT&T career. From there up to management, so forth and so on. No degree, no computer experience. And I did that, and I cut hair in my garage.
So how long did you do that?
At AT&T?
Yeah.
I worked at AT&T for almost 10 years.
Okay.
While I was running businesses.
When you say businesses, you say you cut hair.
Let me back up.
Well,
hustles.
Depends on who's listening.
Depends on who's listening.
Right.
So I had, this is the 80s, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I had a beeper business. I went to PageNet, and I got an account where I was able to resell beepers.
Yeah.
And I would collect monthly payments. So guys would come to my house all times of the day, all hours of the night, paying money. If you didn't know any better, you thought I was selling drugs out of there. Yeah. But they were paying their monthly beeper bills.
You're just selling it to the drug guys.
All the guys that would come to get a haircut in the basement. Yeah. So I had a beeper company, and then I got a cell phone company. And I'll never forget, I had it was a brand new Dodge Colt. They don't even make them anymore. But I got it with no air conditioning. Put the rims on it, of course. I had a booming sound system in it. And when I started selling cell phones, guess what I put in it? A car phone.
A car phone. You know, when you're young like that, it doesn't matter that you got air or not.
It didn't matter at all.
If it goes 0.8, I had an old car, man, It was a convertible,
Yeah.
but you had the zipper back window.
Oh, you're going way back. Yeah.
I'm going way back. You zip the back window out, and the back window zipper was broken on it, and so then it didn't have air and it didn't have heat.
Did you have a back seat?
I had a back seat.
Okay.
I had a back seat because it went back into the thing behind the back seat, but that thing, I didn't have a back window. I didn't have heat. I didn't have air. Everybody wanted to ride with me.
Because it was a convertible.
Because it was a convertible, man.
And those were probably the best times of our lives.
And when you're young like that, you can do some stupid stuff in a convertible.
Man, that was when gas was 70, 80 cents a gallon.
Even less.
Even less.
Even less. And my dad owned a gas station.
Yeah.
See?
So I had the beeper business. Then I was selling cell phones. Now, this was when they first came out.
Yeah.
They were big. And you had to fill out the paper application. So
yeah,
I would go
cost
around.
You $1,000 a month.
Come on. So I had it set up to where I was getting residual off of monthly bills. I was making money off of the phone. And then I got a one-time payment for the initial thing. But I would drive around, take applications, and call it in on the phone.
Yeah.
And they did a strict credit check back then.
Yeah.
And so every time I sold the phone, I would program it in my car. All right, you ready to go? Man. So we had the beeper business, the cell phone business, and I was still cutting hair in the garage.
Wow.
And then so, left. I got my cleaning business on the tail end of AT&T. I was never comfortable at AT&T. I was a manager at the time. I think at the time I might have been doing about $60,000 a year, which at that time was great money.
Huge.
But I wanted to be free.
Well, let me ask you this about that. You talked about the cleaning business, and you had a very successful cleaning business going. And even though, as we talked about, it may have owned you, and it takes an incredible mindset to walk away from that. So tell me, how did you set your mind to say, I need to walk away from this, especially at that early stage in your life?
I was never tied to the business. I was tied to providing for my family. And because I had done other things prior to that and during that time, other businesses, I never worried about how I was going to make money. And so it was easy for me to say, I got to sell this and get rid of it because it's doing more damage, doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
Without even a care, going to Atlanta with nothing on a shaky marriage. I had no worries about how I was going to earn money because I'd never had a job per se prior to AT&T. I always had the ability to go out and make money.
How did you develop that, and what was the seed of that? Here I like to talk here about. We talk about three key things. We talk about mindset, overcoming limiting beliefs, and life lessons. And I like to try to always connect the dots a little bit because I believe that life is just a series of dots and lines. They all connect together, whether it's a bad experience or a good experience, something we want to remember, something we want to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Everything it came from the seed of something else, and if we look back on it, we'll see a connection somewhere.
I saw it. I look back.
So when you look back now, what was the seed that grew to develop that mindset, that persona in you, the hustler? Because everybody doesn't have it.
My father's side of my family, everybody, they had a job, but they also had a side hustle. Matt, now that I'm thinking about it, man, I don't think my father had a job, but we also had a home improvement business. My uncles all did home improvement. My cousins, my aunt, my father's sister, rest in peace. From the time I was a little boy, I never knew her to have a job. She ran a nonprofit. She wrote books. She spoke. On my father's side, on my mother's side, everybody had a job. Mm-hmm. It was the stability, the security. Like, I always connected more internally with the family on my father's side.
Okay.
So even though my father had a job, he was an alcoholic. I watched him lose jobs, get jobs. And then when we did the home improvement business, I wasn't about the manual labor. I just used to go out and get business and make sure that him and my uncles didn't get too drunk not to finish jobs. That's all I did. Made sure that they stayed sober enough to finish jobs, and then I would go get us another job. And so I think that, you know, how some people, sometimes science says certain things are hereditary.
Yes.
I honestly believe that is something that is in my DNA, because when I was in school, I never thought about getting a job. It like kind of gives me the hives. I've always been the one, I'm going to say it like this. In that space, I've always had testicular fortitude.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because I think that myself, because you can always see the differences in people, and there's one person who will lose a job or go into a financial, call it a crisis, if you will, and their mind gets jumbled up. They don't know what to do. If they can find a job, they need that to get them out of it, to move them forward. They need some kind of a structure to move them to the next place. They don't know what to do with it. But then you have that other person who has to hustle, that when they get in that crisis, it brings out the best in them.
Yeah.
And they actually rise to that, and that crisis is probably what they needed.
Literally. Because here's the thing. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And I think for me, because I didn't know anything about that security, I never knew it. I never had that. So I always had to. Whereas my sister, I'm talking about when I was cutting hair, like all the time, full time, my family be like, my mom, you need to go get you a job. So even though I'm cutting hair, I'm making more money than all of them.
Yeah.
And so
because that's what they know.
And it was fine. And so for me, it's like, even my wife now, I took off a job in 2018, and it was difficult for her, right? Like she said it. She was telling somebody one day, they asked her, what was it that made you feel okay about leaving her career? Like, she was project manager, doing well. And she said it wasn't that we had so much money in the bank. She could trust me. Here's the piece that people don't get. Business and entrepreneurialism, if that's a word, is only part of a whole story.
Yeah.
There are certain things that comes along with that. Taking losses. And then when you get married and you have a family, those losses are bigger. Taking losses is becoming an entrepreneur while still being security minded. I think that's a maturity thing that comes. So there were times with my wife where I could go out and make the money. I could start something new, but I would take the money to start something else. It was like I can take this 20 and I can flip it and turn it into this, not having any security blanket because I know I can flip it. And the greatest thing, I think you and I may have talked about this one time in the chair years ago, was finding the right person to do life with.
Yes.
And the greatest thing that I have been able to do over these years was finding my wife, who was my best friend, who I compliment and she compliments me.
Because, you know, a part of that is a part of your ability. When you say you didn't say it like this, but being hustle-minded and security-minded, because she gave you the security to be free to hustle.
You don't even understand how real that is. So when I got out here and I took that job at Georgia Pacific, the contract, and I had to get 20 guys, and I built out the whole help desk. I took 20 guys from IBM that I was working with, gave them more money, took the contract, built it, and I met my current wife, at Georgia Pacific. Best friends. She saw me go through a lot. Once we started getting together, and when I left Georgia Pacific trying to figure out what I was going to do, she would take her check and we would go to New York and I would pick up Coach bags and I would come back to Atlanta and get to work. So when you say she gave me that ability, when we got together, her job was the security. We had health care, she had the steady income, and it freed me up to go do what I do very well.
You know, it actually, when I think about it, it really comes full circle.
Yes.
Because her giving you that that secure floor. She was able to give you that secure floor because you gave her the safety that she needed in her being confident that you're going to do what you do.
Yep.
Because at the same time, you could have that person who she provides that secure floor for, who doesn't rise, and now she's not safe, and now it's all messed up.
Yes. Yeah. And that is so real. My ex-wife, phenomenal woman. Great mother, great woman, good friend. And right now I say, you're a great woman. We just weren't great for each other in that season.
Yeah.
Right now we're perfect because you're doing what you do. We have great children together. But for me and for you, we weren't great for each other as we grew together or apart, depending on how you look at it. And I think back to your point around where that comes from internally, I think it's hereditary, but then I also think you can have something in you that's hereditary, but I believe it's dormant until something or somebody activates it. And I got a chance to activate mine early. And in the activation, I stayed activated. And I've always, my personality is, if the signs say go left, I'm trying to figure out why can't I go right? If when I met you, I had just started cutting hair again. I didn't have any clients. I thought I knew how to cut hair. It wasn't until I seen Frank and Sean and them.
I'm glad that you could cut hair.
But I thought I was good. But I saw Frank and Sean and them cutting. I'm like, ooh, I'm not.
You were good for me.
But guess what I did? I was older than everybody, all the other barbers. But I went to Frank and I went to Sean and I said, yo, I need y'all to teach me how to do this, and that.
But I came to your barbershop or your place because Sarge recommended.
I remember Sarge.
Remember Sarge?
Yep. Is he still around?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I remember Sarge,
And he recommended I come see you, and so I came to see you. And but I kept coming back because of what was projected from you there. Because you had your son there, and I would watch how you would talk to your son, and how you would inspire your son and coach your son, and how you were. There was a book called The Man of Steel and Velvet.
Yep.
And it comes from being tender and tough, and you showed that quality of knowing how to be tender and tough with your son right there. And I took note of that, and that was one of the things that kept me coming back. Even when you moved, I was like, I'm going over there where he is.
My people don't realize this, and I think in the book the new book that I'm putting together, I think I need to really emphasize this. Those years in the shop from 2001 all the way up until I retired in 2017 or 18 were my greatest development years. I never had a barber's license. You might not know that. Matter of fact, none of us in there had a barber's license.
I kind of came about it.
I never, even though I had opportunities to go, I never went. I never called myself a barber. I cut hair. Every shop that I would open, especially in the later years, my wife would say to me, why are you even opening up the shop? And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I just love being in the shop. This is how I make money. She was like, you ain't never gonna be there. I was not the guy. I love the shop. I love the environment. I love the conversation. I love what it allowed us to do to help the kids and all of that. I love the ability to sit behind the chair and connect with men and conversate with men and project and all that. But I could do without the cutting. And because of that, I learned that was a platform for me to express my internal gifts and talents. And there was a season where I had to make a decision. Am I willing and ready to change the platform?
Sometimes we don't recognize the value of that, and that still goes back to the whole context of what we do in this space here. is really understanding the value and the contribution that everything in our lives has made in shaping who we are, where we are now, and our ability to decide where we're going to take from that to get to where we're going. And and I've heard you say before that you didn't consider yourself a barber, that you cut hair. I took a little bit of an issue with that. Well, and the reason I took issue with that was because of a couple of reasons. One was because you cut my hair with the skill that any other barber had cut my hair. And the other thing was that some people get their education from schooling and licensing and somewhere else. Some people get their education from active experience and so forth. So in my book, you became a skilled master barber.
I appreciate that.
By experience.
I appreciate that. I look at it from a different perspective. So when I say I never called myself a barber or didn't consider myself a barber, because I knew barbers.
Yeah.
These were the guys that had their white coats, they had their razors out. They loved the art of cutting hair. So for me, it wasn't a skill set because I knew I could cut.
Yeah.
For me, it was a mindset. My mindset of a barber is he coming to the shop every day. He gonna sit here. He's engaging with his clients. He loves what he does. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
I loved when guys would come in. We sit in the chair. For me, it was remembering the conversation the last time we talked. For me, it was being able to, you send a text or make a phone call and I can schedule the appointment with you and get you in as close to on time as possible and get you out. For me, it was making sure that my son at the time, Kendall, but both of them at a certain time, and all the other young men learned when you come in the shop, shake everybody's hand. If you miss somebody, you got to go back and do everybody else. For me, it was allowing those moms that would come and say, hey, my son is not doing well in school. I don't know if you were around, we did the boot camp every Saturday, drop them off. And we had them doing crazy stuff like cleaning up and running sprints and doing all this crazy.
No, I missed that.
Oh, it was crazy. We had a good time with it. So for me, it was what the shop and the chair allowed me to do and who it allowed me to become.
So in that respect, then barbering is what you did, not who you are.
Exactly.
Makes total sense.
Yeah. And also, I think one of the most powerful things was I was telling, as Coach K, I was talking to, this might have been maybe the first executive coaching client I had. And the guy asked me, he's like, well, how long have you been coaching? I said, all total, maybe close to 30 years. And he was like, asked me about my certifications and all this stuff. Same thing. No. Well, where did you learn? This barbershop, that barbershop, this, and this, like on the job training.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me, and I said, I learned more from sitting behind that chair about listening, coaching, mentoring, being a confidant, a therapist, keeping secrets. Like I learned more during that time span than anybody can learn from any school because it's live training. And then it was, you have to have the heart. So we started working together, and after the first 6 months, he was like, man, you're great at what you do. And I was like, I just had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And I never forget that because there was a period where I had that limiting belief. And it was, I wanted to go more into corporate. And here was the limiting belief. Man, this is good, Melvin. I didn't have the degrees. Why I feel like I'm about to get emotional.
Man, I got you.
I didn't have the degrees. I don't even think I have a high school diploma physically. I walked, but I never went back and got the diploma.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school. I don't have the certifications. So in my mind, I thought that there was always a limit in the rooms that I qualified to be in or the clients that I could work with. And I remember I hired a coach to be my executive coach. And I told him, I said, I need you to teach me the language. And I worked with him for a little while, and he kept telling me, bruh, you already got what you need. And finally, it clicked one day when I was in the room and I was just myself.
Yeah.
He said, what you're missing is they need you to be you. And you trying to be like somebody else.
Yeah.
And your natural talent, your natural gift is what is going to attract and also repel. Once I was able to get through some of that self-limiting belief,
Yeah.
and I want to make something perfectly clear. I still have some today. Man, somebody asked me.
That's wisdom.
Bruh, somebody asked, man, I need everybody to understand something. Like, I've been doing what I do for a long time. But make no mistake about it. There are certain areas that I delve into or want to jump into that I don't think I'm qualified. And it's okay. Like, but now I know, well, the only way to find out if you're qualified is to go knock on the door, go sit in the chair, go do whatever. But I was telling the guy one time, my first marathon, he said, man, why are you running this marathon? Why did you run the half marathons? And the half marathons I ran because I needed my wife to see me doing what I was doing, to inspire her.
Understand.
And that as a leader. And that worked because she ran the second one with me. And I always tell, let me just tell this real quick. I was sitting at the kitchen table. She was sitting across from me. And I said, I'm going to register for this half marathon. It's 2023. I'm going to register for this half marathon and 2024. Register for this half marathon, you know, same one I did. I want to break my time. And she said, out of nowhere, I think I'm going to run it with you. That's what I said. We both registered. I was traveling a lot during that time, and everywhere I went, I would ask the group. So I'm running this marathon, and my wife is running it. Should I just go and run my race and break my time, or should I run with my wife? Now, I already knew what I was going to do, but I wanted to survey. 80 to 90% of everybody that surveyed, guess what they said?
They're going to run with the wife?
Nah, they said, run your race. Because she had given me permission. She had given me the green light. Go do it, go do it. And I was listening to it, but I'm saying to myself, you must think I'm crazy.
I guess I answered that based on what
what should have been said. No, you're right. What should have been said. So I ended up not trying to go break my time and being selfish. I ended up running with her because it was her first time.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because it brought us closer together because there was around whatever mile that was for her, the jogging stopped. I'm sorry. We started jogging. Then she started trotting. Then it was the walk. And she was like, I'm going to have to walk the rest of the way. But she was getting cramps. She wanted to quit. She said, I'm done. I can't. I said, well, if we stop right here, we're going to have to walk back. So either way, you might as well go forward. And I was able to walk with her.
Man, if you had smoked everybody in that whole marathon and you had beat everybody by 5 minutes, you would have still lost that race.
And bro, this is one of the things I tell the young cats or even our older cats when it comes to your partner, your teammate, i.e. your wife, your spouse. That's my teammate.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even like to use the title wife because I think it diminishes the power of the relationship. Yeah. That's my partner. That's my teammate. We doing it together. And so I need her not only to be the best version of herself, but I need to help her get there.
Let me take you back along the path where we were as far as you coming from where you are. And I think it's real significant for this audience here who, you know, ranges from probably 35 to 55 average for men mostly. The core probably right around the 40, 45. And, you know, we deal with a lot of different things. And so in order for you to move forward, you know, Michael Jackson talks about the man in the mirror. I like to say my podcast is about the man in the middle. You know, because a lot of stuff is in the middle. And sometimes in business they talk about the gap and so forth. But you talked once about confronting the mirror. You know, can you tell me a little bit about what shook you, woke you, or what was the turning point for you to, you know, come to that place?
In the middle, where you say it is where all the mess is.
Yeah.
And I lived the secret life, which was the mess. I was drinking, but I didn't know I was an alcoholic. And Loki, nobody knew this. You didn't even know this probably. I would go drink and I would smoke while I had a 2-piece.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking and smoking. I'm talking about packs of Newport. I couldn't smoke unless I had a drink. And when I had a drink, I needed a cigarette. And the drinking became like a binge thing. I never drank when I was cutting. Like if I knew
I was going to ask you, what you drinking when you're cutting?
Nah. I had the discipline. I wasn't that far gone. Because when I was drinking, I couldn't cut.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I wasn't like some of them guys. They can go smoke
Functional.
a blunt and be functional. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. But once I was done cutting, if you notice, most of the shops were close to a bar. And
Well, I didn't notice.
yeah, I would drink, and it would be like Saturday after I was done cutting, I'm going to drink most of the night, go home, sit in the garage after I bought a 4-pack of wine from Quick Trip, because I done drank all the what I had at the whatever, get home, have a 4-pack and Newports, and I'm smoking and drinking on the phone, running my mouth. While my wife is in the bedroom in the house, I'm in the garage. She didn't even know I was out there smoking because the bar I went to was smoke. Even to this day, she was like, I didn't even know you was smoking cigarettes. I was like, okay. And the decisions that I made when I was drinking, and I'm going to share a story which I haven't shared with anybody. I knew it was a problem. I was drinking one night. I was at one of my guys' house, and I was on the phone. I'm doing something, talking to somebody about nothing. And I had ran out of cigarettes. And I was drinking, and I was looking on the ground for shorts, Newport shorts, cigarette shorts to drink. And I'll never forget this. It like kind of flashed in my mind like, you acting like a junkie.
See.
And that man in the middle where the mess was came face to face. And then I would be drinking. The way I sit right now is literally the way I used to see my father sit when I was a little boy. He used to cross that leg and be comfortable. But when he was drunk, he used to sit that same way. And I would notice that when I was drinking, the man that I saw him to be, that I said I never wanted to become, I had literally became. The same bad decisions that he made when he lost his family, he lost the house, he lost jobs, all of that, I was headed down that same road.
Yeah.
And so it got real messy. And then I got sick in 2012.
From the drinking?
I just started losing weight, man. I was 175, 80 pounds. I had dropped down to 149. Internally, I thought I had cancer. I'll never forget, I was at the shop cutting one day. This was the last shop I had. And I fell out and went to the back, and Kendall, my son, came back there. I saw him start crying. My man came to see me from Florida, and he got so upset because I had dropped so much weight. And I used to wear double shirts. I was still drinking. I was still smoking. I literally was in a state of depression. And I didn't say I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I didn't say I want to die, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I was in a depression. And I remember saying to myself, because we all talk to ourselves, I remember saying to myself in the mirror, if I got cancer, it's just going to be what it is. Fell out at the shop. I went home one night, and I fell in the bathroom. And I fell, and I couldn't get up. And my wife said, it's time to go. I didn't want to go to the doctor. I didn't want to hear the news, and I didn't care no more. And she called my uncle, and when he called, I moved. So I ended up going to the doctor. And right at first glance, he said, well, it looks like you have lymphoma. And I ain't know. I was like, okay, cool. Is it a pill? Like he's like, no, that's cancer.
Yeah.
And I was like, And I had this lump under my chin that was very big. And every time I saw it, I'm thinking that's the cancer.
Yeah.
So he said we need to do a biopsy on that. And that man in the middle that we talk about, that I had come face to face with, it was during that time from when the doctor said we got to do the biopsy till after I had the biopsy, where I realized that I was truly loved, that I truly had a problem, that I needed to make some changes in my life. And I'll never forget, man, had the biopsy. My kids was loving on me extra. And I got pictures of, going in and coming out. First time I had ever been cut open. And I came back and my wife and I went back to get the results to the doctor. And my man had us sitting in there for an hour before he even came. And it was so much tension. And my wife broke down and cried. And she was like, why are you acting like you just don't care? And she said, I need you. We need you. And she kind of went down this road and it just kind of hit.
Yeah.
And he came back in and he said, with pause, of course, like a whole drip, almost like I heard background music and all this other stuff. Yeah. He said, you don't have lymphoma. Biopsy came back negative, but you have sarcoidosis. And I knew about it because my uncle has it.
Okay.
Uncle is like my father. He'd been on prednisone 50 years. And so I was like, all right, well, what we need to do? He said, ain't no cure for it. And it was at that moment where I made the decision, I'm going to stop. Yeah. Right? But guess what? I ain't stopped. And
a lot of us stopped a lot of times.
Man, people say to me, man, what was it? How did you stop? You mean when I actually stopped or when I just kept saying I was going to stop?
I kept working on it.
I didn't stop until, and this is what I say to people, you got to have a reason for doing everything. And it's got to be something or somebody that you love more than you love yourself. And I was out drinking, and I called my wife and was like, yo, I ain't coming in tonight. And I had done that before. And her response was different than before. She got quiet. And it was one of those quiets where you know you did something and your wife is uptight with you. It was a scary quiet. Mm-hmm. And it was just me knowing that she had enough. Yeah. That night, I said, I'm good, I'm done. I'm not. And I meant it because why? I knew that I was about to lose the one person who had my back from the day that I met her.
A lot of guys around, so you were probably 40?
Yep, in my 40s.
That's a magical age.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of guys, they've been in the workforce, long enough to know what it's like or what it's not like. They've, had their chance to run, do this and do that, and play all these games and things like that, and experience life and so forth. And they're right now, a lot of guys at that place are kind of in a twilight zone, sort of. It's an internal twilight zone because nobody knows. They're functional in the twilight zone. They're doing everything. Even the people closest to them don't know. They may sense something, but they don't know. Mm-hmm. And so those guys are stuck, and they're trying to figure it out. They may dabble in a little of this. They may dabble in a little of that. They may try this. They may try that. Yep. And they may say, "Well, I'm trying to, find the place to do the thing that I need to do to make things happen." But it's really an internal thing.
Yep.
What do you say to a guy like that, who's just in that space, but needs to get to another place?
One word, grace.
Yeah.
Give yourself grace. Because, I stopped drinking. And, marriage got good. But I still had internal issues.
But how do you separate your desire to grind from your acceptance of grace?
Here's the piece. And this, again, grace is undeserved kindness. I can give myself grace, and those words are great, and it feels good. But I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to wake up, and life is still going to happen.
For sure.
I was just on the phone with a guy on the way down here, and we were talking about this topic. And one of the things I said to him was, why do you wake up every day? He said, my kids. I said, do you love your kids enough to be who they need you to be, mm-hmm. not only do what they need you to do? And I'm going to tell you how I learned it. So stopping drinking was only a part of that cycle in my life. So watch this. You come in and your wife asks you, hey, how you doing? How was your day? What's the natural first response?
All right.
or I'm good.
That's all right. I'm good.
All right, it was good. I'm good.
I'm good.
We all do that.
That's it.
And that is a very surface answer because we ain't going deep.
Yeah.
And one day my wife said to me, your daughter got a problem with you. And I'm like, what you talking about? I was doing, here, you got the car, you got, I'm doing.
What kind of problem could she have?
My daughter came down, sat at the table, and could not tell me what the problem was. She broke down in tears. I couldn't understand it. And my wife said, y'all need to go to therapy together because my daughter was in therapy. I get to therapy, and again, grace, undeserved kindness. I'm in therapy, and the therapist pulled out what the challenge was. My daughter said, you're not vulnerable. This time, what you talking about? I'm not vulnerable. To myself. She said, I don't feel like we have our connection. I'm like, but I'm giving. And then she said, I don't feel like I know you. And that hit. And so if you remember when I said, I stopped drinking because I felt like I was going to lose the one person that meant more to me than anything. I realized that here was another person, my youngest child, who needed me to be someone and not do. And it was in that context where I said, I got to do something different. So I tell people, now, you know, Melvin, I ain't got no tattoos, but this one. So in my mind, I said, I have to find something that me and my daughter can connect with. Mm-hmm. She got tats everywhere. She's creative. She do hair. She models like she's got nose ring, all that. Yeah. I said, let's get a tattoo together. Now, I don't believe in tattoos. I love them, but the pain that's attached to it. If there was no pain, I may get one. But I said, let's get a tattoo together. And she got excited. Yeah. So I said, well, pick something out. In my mind, I'm like, she ain't gonna pick it out. I never actually felt like I was gonna have to get the tattoo. My wife and I took her to Mexico with us one time, long story short. She said, now would be a great time to get a tattoo. I was like, what you talking about? We in Mexico, they might not be sterile. Like, I tried to come up with every excuse. And I said, Mom, you know, I want Mom to get it with us. Yeah. So we go to we go inside of the tattoo parlor. I'm scared to death because I am not with this needle thing. And I get the tattoo. Yeah. And from the time I got this tattoo, his word again, grace. I realized that because I was able to give myself grace, it allowed me to open up and become who my daughter needed me to be. So after the tattoo came, our connection completely shifted. She'll ask me for advice. I don't have to be a control freak and say, hey, this is what you need to do. Yeah. And yes, I have to listen to the advice when she asks me about boys. And it kills me. Yeah. But you know why I do it? Because that's who she needs me to be. Right. So that mess that's in the middle, that man that's in that space from 40 to 50 years old, don't focus on doing. That's easy. That's our escape. Bro, making money is easy. Get up and go to work.
From doing to being.
I just told the cat this. Like, that's easy. You're going to do that. But being, and not just saying, brother told me one time, going through marriage stuff, and he is like, I know I got to become a better man for my wife. I was like, all right, so who you going to become? And he went down a few things that he was going to. I was like, but who does she need you to be?
There you go.
He said, this is not. But did you ask her?
Yeah.
Gave him the assignment. Ask your wife, ask your kids, who do you need me to be in this season? And he came back and was like, man, I had that thing all wrong. I said, it wasn't wrong. You just picked what was easy for you. Mm-hmm. So that 40 to 50-year-old man, give yourself grace so you can become who you need to be for either yourself, if you by yourself, or if you're 45, for that 55-year-old version of you. Who do you need to be for your girl, for your kids, for your mother, for whoever? And then once you can find out who you need to be, start doing that.
Yeah. So how do you take that and you pull that all together without getting lost in the sauce? Because it's easy for a person to say, I'm grind guy, so they'll relate to your great grind day. I mean, listen, this is what I got to do. It's great grind day, and then they'll take your grace messaging, but they don't know how to find grace in the grind.
It's maturity. You're not gonna, again, grace, undeserved kindness, which means I have to be patient with myself while I'm growing through this season of my life. So you're not going to turn grind, or you're not going to find the grace in the grind by just saying it. You have to have enough emotional maturity to allow yourself to grow into it. Because I'm in it, in the middle of it, but every single day I got to practice it.
Why do you think guys are missing that?
Because they love themselves and they love what's easy more than anything else.
But they would say, man, I don't look for easy.
Yeah, well, you don't, but you lying. I mean, bro, I literally just got off the phone. I work with men every day.
Yeah.
I know. Man just told me, he's like, man, got into it with my girl, man. After a couple of days, I just got back on my grind. Let me get back to work. I was like, all right, but what happened with your girl?
Yeah.
She want to talk and have all these conversations. Oh, she needs you to be. And you running and doing. And we all wonder why relationships don't work. Again, no, it ain't easy. Yeah. But you can't look at where I am without growing through where I've been. I can't read your chapter 10 thinking that I can just start at chapter 10. I need to read the story. So every man has to read his own story. Take my grace, take my grind, and apply it to your world. And where does it work for you?
So you take all of that, and all of that came together to help to
only get me here.
To get you here, who is now the chief example officer.
I'm the CEO of my family org chart.
Where'd that come from? Tell me how you developed that and how you live in that.
I promise you, this is a true story. And you can ask any creative or entrepreneur. I literally came up in it while I was having a conversation with somebody. I said, man, I need you to be the CEO, the chief example officer. And when it came out, I was like, okay. That's how Grindation, you know where it came from? I was in New Orleans on a tour. I had a couple of my guys with me. It was like a 6-day tour of schools. I'm standing up talking to the teachers of one school. And I was like, you got to have, it's the Grindation. And they were like, they was looking crazy. I said, that's the foundation of your grind. So I just made it up.
You said, let me write that down.
And literally when I got outside, I said, yo, I need to make sure, what did I say? Wrote that down. And lo and behold.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Saying Great Grind Day just became a part of during that season of my life. Yeah. It was the grind. Why? Because I was broke and I needed to dig into that to get to a certain point. And there are some men in that 40 to 45. I know I always got a story. Talked to a brother the other day. He's 48.
Yeah.
He's transitioning from a career thing, but entrepreneurial. And he's having challenges with building the business. I asked him, what's the definition of business? He said, to make money. Peter Drucker says it's the go find and keep a customer, right? We got past that. And I said, you caught up in social media, you caught up in strategy. I just need you to go get a client. I need you to go grind. So some of those guys that are between 40 and 50, and it depends on the guy, some of them need to go grind because they need to know what it feels like to get turned down. They need to know what it feels like to go out and do things until you're exhausted. And because they may not know what grace looks like until they go through the grind. So you can't just, you have to allow yourself to experience your entire life. And if you're blessed.
Say that one more time.
I'm about to, hold on. Y'all write this down because this might be one. You have to allow yourself to experience your entire life. I am 57 years old. I'll be 58. I am allowing myself to run these marathons. I do date nights with my sons every month individually. We do a monthly Sons Day. We have Family Day for the last 8 years every month. My daughters do Daughters Day. I'm texting with family. I go see my mother once a quarter. I see my uncle once a quarter. I on my calendar call mom once a week. I am becoming the chief example officer, but guess why? I put together my org chart.
See.
I have the kids, the grandkids on there, great grands. I have the kids, the grandkids, my kids, husbands, wives, and the grandkids, and I have an understanding of their personalities. Yeah. And at the top, I got me, and right next to me is my wife. I'm the CEO, she's the COO. And we run it like that.
And when you do that, that's really exampleship at its finest. And I'm sure that you're beginning to see it manifest itself I believe you said once that your son wants to jump into that spot, and even when you're not able to be there for your family meetings and so forth.
You know, you think about this. I know we do. We all do as CEO men of our families. We know we're checking out.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that if we check out before we think we should, that the traditions can continue to go on. My wife is going to be good, not just financially, but she has the support that she needs. And so for me, being the CEO is not just me creating what I'm creating while I'm here. It is me creating traditions that will live long after I am gone. So you remember years ago, some called Big Mama, Grandmama, every Sunday had dinner at the house.
Absolutely.
That's a real thing in our community. But when my grandmother died, nobody took on the tradition, and it stopped. And I decided to recreate that with the family here. So I'm doing that. And I'm saying to myself, when I die, I don't want it to stop. So to your point, my son said to me one day, I need you to show me how to be number two. And I was like, well, he's like, I need to know how to, it's the heart. And that, man, made me cry because it made me realize that he is seeing the example because he knew me when.
You know, in today's society, and that's so remarkable that you're doing that. There's a TV series called Succession, you know.
I saw it, yeah.
And you know, the message beyond that, the series in itself and all that's involved in it, whatever it is that, like, to your point, we don't really think enough about succession. We just live day to day. You know, we figure we can make this and make that, and if I, you know, put up a nest egg, I'm okay. But you know, can you talk to building that to succession, and even how it has transitioned into the other areas of your life and business and so forth, from that being that example officer and so forth?
You know what I did, Melvin? If I could just be 100, and I don't know if maybe it's age maturity and the way I'm in a season of my life where I've made the millions. I've learned that I don't need millions to be happy. I just need to make sure my wife is good. She want what she want. I can travel and I can play golf every Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm good. As long as I have, and I'm free to do that. So I don't need millions, so I stop grinding for numbers. But you know what is more challenging? Because, you know, you get to a point, you know how to make money.
Yeah.
And then you could say, well, I want 8 million, 10 million. And that's cool if somebody wants that. But what's more challenging is, what will you leave when you're gone beyond the bank? So for me, if I can develop a blended family, if my ex-wife can come to family days and we can all work together as a family, I'm winning. I tell all my kids, man, true story. I want everybody to get a picture of me. Just me, not your mama, not my wife. Just me. And I want y'all to blow it up, size of that wall. And I want everybody to put that picture right above the mantle. And on the bottom of the picture, all I wanted to say is, Pop did that. I ain't leaving y'all no money. She gonna have all the bread. But what I'm gonna leave you is an example of how to father, how to husband. When my bonus son says to me and my wife, yo, when I finally do find that woman, I want to have a relationship like y'all. When my bonus son says to me, I want to be able to treat my wife the way you treat my mother. That, bruh, like,
that's huge.
That's hard. And I love a challenge.
Yeah.
That's why I run the marathons.
Yeah.
I love a challenge. If I can be the best, first of all, man, right? Based on, I was talking to and keep me honest. I was talking to a brother, good Christian man, student minister. I'm talking about manhood. And I asked him, like, I said, what's the original 5 commandments? And he was like, original? He said, you mean love Jesus? The original 5. And he said, I don't know, what are they? I said, so he made man. And then he said, go out and do what? Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have dominion.
Dominion over. Right.
Initial 5. And then he said, I'm going to go ahead and give you her to help you meet the requirements of your manhood.
Yeah.
I just want to be the best man I can be. And if we can just for a minute take the money off of it, it being fruitful means to take something that isn't bearing fruit, a seed, plant it, and grow more fruit. Multiply. Multiply not only the gifts and the talents, but multiply the people. My son telling me, teach me how to be number 2, I'm in multiplication. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish. Finding something that isn't the way it needs to be and cultivate it. We're doing that every day with our wives, with our family. Starting with ourselves.
Yeah.
Replenish, subdue, right? Subdue is finding those things, those addictions, whether it's porn, whether it's alcohol, whether it's shopping for some of us, whatever it is, whatever we're addicted to, and subduing it. Having dominion, subdue and have dominion. I got to be a powerful man.
Yeah.
And so when you start doing that, now you're like, I need help. It's the idea of finding the right partner to help me meet those requirements. So if I can be a great man and then be a better husband and take my fatherhood and my pop, which is my grandfatherness, to a whole nother level, like all the grandkids, they playing basketball, football, cheerleading. It's on the calendar, joint calendar. Now, I don't make all of them, but guess what me and my wife do every week when we have our weekly sync? Yeah. All right, babe, I'm going to be here,
you can be there. There you go.
We doing, and we representing. And then I'll make a phone call or video and be like, how we doing? Like my granddaughter did her first day of cheer a year or so ago. All of us came.
Yeah.
In the family group, when it's somebody's birthday, I started this off on Father's Day one year. I don't know if you saw this. I got tired of all of the BS that I was getting on Father's Day. And I put a link to an Amazon link, all my golf stuff. And bruh, everything I put in there, the kids got. But guess what they do now? Yeah, they put Amazon gift links in there for the grandkids. It makes it easier because now we just ordering stuff. And my granddaughter's sweet 16, everybody showed up. We putting chairs together. We doing it. Ex-wife came. Everybody working together. Yeah. Bruh, when I sit back and I look at that picture in my head, Pop did that. Man, please.
We got this thing, where I've got all of the kids.
It's the family group chat,
right? It's the family group chat, and look, we got the baseball, we got the football game, we got the soccer schedule.
Yep.
We got one that's in the Marine Corps boot camp. We got his graduation.
Yep.
All of that stuff. We got the scores to the game. Yep. Everybody cheering everybody.
Now, guess what? When you check out, somebody, they're going to keep it.
Pick it up.
And guess what you're going to have?
Yeah.
Pop did that.
See, because it's important for us to know who we are.
Now, that 45-year-old man that we're talking about, this is the season for him to become the man.
Yeah.
If you're not married, you ain't got no wife, you ain't got no kids, I need you to max out your manhood. What you mean, coach? Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and go have dominion. Not just in this one area. You know what that's like, bro? That's like the greatest three-point shooter they say that ever lived is Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. But Steph Curry can do more than just shoot threes.
Yes.
He can get assists, he get rebound. He has a stat line. I don't want no dude, and the woman don't want no man that only know how to make money.
Yeah.
You don't know how to be vulnerable. You don't know how to communicate. You'll get traded or cut.
But his wife don't listen to him.
What you mean his wife don't listen to him?
His wife don't listen to him.
Because he ain't saying nothing. Bro, I'm going to tell you.
But she's not in his corner.
Let me tell you talking to the choir right now because I got these videos now I'm dropping and they going viral. And I'm starting to read comments. Yeah. And I'm like, y'all got more excuses.
See?
What you just said, it been in the comments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so the one comment said my wife don't listen to me.
My wife don't listen.
Why not?
Yeah.
So, why not?
See?
Why don't your wife listen? I know this is hypothetical, but.
Well, I don't know. She just seemed to just not pay me any attention.
This is good. Let's play this out.
Yeah.
She not paying you attention?
Nah, she don't pay me any attention.
What are you doing to get her attention?
I don't know, man. I just, I don't know what to do because I can't read her.
Oh. Did you ever ask her?
Yeah, but then she just go on this diatribe and bring up old stuff.
Good. And then do you sit and listen?
Yeah, I sit. I try to listen, man, but it's hard to listen sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. But then what do you do?
I don't know what to do, man.
You stop.
Yeah, man, because it just gets on my nerve, man.
Bro, I need you to remember everything that happens in your life and in your relationship is 110% your responsibility.
My responsibility.
Because you're not used to going beyond your limit.
What about her?
What about her?
Come on, man.
Well, okay, let me help you out. What's her name? Jane.
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Same as mine.
Say again?
Same as mine.
So basically what you're saying is you gave her your last name.
Yeah.
Which means you have a level of responsibility to her. Mm-hmm. Do I need to say anything else? If you're going to, and I'm going to go here, I'm going to use this terminology, but I don't want y'all to go crazy with it. She's carrying your last name. There's a measure of responsibility that comes with that, a measure of ownership.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing you say is you're not taking care of what you're responsible for. Mm. And the question is, instead of you worrying about what she's doing, what she's not doing, ask yourself, who are you being and who are you not being? Because the truth of the matter is, she's only responding to what you've been giving her.
So you say it's on me?
1,000%. How do you know, Coach? Because when I was an alcoholic and I was drinking and I was doing all manner of BS, my wife responded to me that way. Yeah. The minute I changed, she changed.
So you lived that.
I'm living it. Because I didn't just, bro, I'm not Sister Tree. And I'm coming to the altar or Brother Tree, and I'm coming to the altar every day with the saying, I stopped drinking, I stopped. Nah. I stopped drinking. That's a testimony. I learned how to be more vulnerable. Yeah. That's a testimony. Yeah. I communicate more with my wife. That's another testimony. Yeah. See, you just want to, you want this to be easy. Yeah. And you punking out. Yeah. And that is what, everybody got an excuse. But ain't nobody doing the actual work. And watch this. The original 5 commandments.
There you go.
She your wife, and she carrying your name because she was given to you to help you meet the requirements of your job. But, I almost used some language I shouldn't have used. To help you meet the requirements of your job, but you ain't on your damn job.
Yeah.
And that's why she ain't listening to you.
So when you change how you see yourself, everything connected to your shifts.
Not how you see yourself, when you change your actions. Because you might not see it, but you still need to change the action.
I see.
I don't see a lot of stuff, bro. Like right now. Like there's certain stuff I got to do. I don't see why I got to do it. But then I think about the long game.
Do you think guys need therapy?
Every man should have a therapist.
You think so?
I think every man should have a therapist.
But guys think, man, therapists, that's weak.
Okay, that's fine. How are you going to grow and develop? If you don't get a therapist, how are you going to become who you need to be for yourself and for your family? And if you're not going to go to a therapist, how are you going to do it?
So they think, man, you can help, a guy can understand, I can see getting a coach, but they don't understand getting a therapist, but it's huge.
I have men that I coach.
It's huge.
And the first thing I say to him is go get a therapist.
It's huge.
And he said, why do I need a therapist, Coach? Because I'm not a therapist.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take you back to where you need to go to identify some things.
Exactly.
I'm going to drive you from where you at to where you say you want to go. Yeah. And I'm going to cuss you out.
See.
Your therapist is going to allow you to speak and share. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You need to create a balance, a rhythm, not balance. I don't believe in balance. A rhythm in your education and your experience.
That's good.
Just like when mommy was a nurturer. Mommy was sometimes the disciplinarian. If daddy was in your life, he gave you other things. You have a rhythm.
And what you just did, and like the exercise that you went through, I think it's so necessary for men to be around men so that we can hear things like what we just went through there.
Man. And I ain't no punk. But I tell you right now, a man can't be a man unless he is willing to divorce himself from selfishness.
Yeah.
In the aspect of, I don't care, which is what I call stage 3. I don't care what anybody else wants or needs. I have to do what I have to do for me. That's a stage 3 man, meaning you are acting out for attention. You are emotionally disconnected and you are self-consumed.
So if the Bible says to love thy neighbor as thyself, how do you love yourself and not be selfish?
So I want you, even if you do your priorities, like when I ask a man, who are the 3 most important people in your life in priority order, rarely will they say themselves. You have to say yourself first.
Yeah.
Not that you are being selfish, but you're being self-aware. And that means I have to be right physically, mentally, emotionally, relationally, financially, so that these other people that are priorities in my life, I can be for them who they need me to be. And while I'm pouring out, I'm not emptying my cup before I refill it.
So I gotta be a certain kind of a man before I can be a man for somebody else.
You can't be a man for somebody else unless you're a man.
Right. Because so many, look, the guys are getting married and they're getting families, and they really haven't identified who they are.
And that's, you know what? I think that is a lifetime journey.
Yeah.
So I agree. However, what I don't want us to do is, well, I'm still trying to figure out who I am.
Yeah.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you aren't who you are.
The ladies call that a cop-out anyway.
So while you figuring it out, watch this. Here's a good analogy. I'm playing a game. We got 4 quarters, 12 minutes per quarter. I don't know if we're going to win. I don't know what the 4th quarter looks like. But before I get to the 4th quarter, I got to play the first.
Yeah.
I'm going to make adjustments in the 2nd quarter based on what I did in the first.
Yeah.
But then when I play the second, I'm going into halftime and I'm evaluating offensively what I did and what the defense gave me. And if you're smart, you make adjustments in the 3rd. In the 4th quarter, I should have enough information to help me play the game the best I can. And watch this. It doesn't mean I'm having my best game, but I still got to play. Yeah. And that's why I love golf so much. Bro, I can go out. I played golf last week. I'm talking my first 6 holes, I was killing it. I'm talking about, let's go. Hole 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
Looked like I ain't never played golf in my life.
You said, let's go, and they went.
They went. But then the next hole I did better.
Yeah.
Golf forces me to let go of what happened and focus on what's coming. I can't hold on to a bad shot. I can't hold on to an argument with my wife. I can't hold on to something that my kids did and it hurt I can't hold on. I have to consistently keep going and growing so that I can get the whole 18 or the 4th quarter. Yeah. I think the 4th quarter for us is, I like to say 1st quarter is from birth to 21 of our lives. 2nd quarter of our lives is 22 to 42. The 3rd quarter of our lives is 43 to 63. And then the 4th quarter of our lives is 63 on out. So right now I'm in the 3rd quarter. I'm learning from my 2nd. Mm-hmm. I'm learning from my 1st, but I still got to prepare for the 4th.
Yeah.
If I stop preparing who I need to be in the 4th quarter, I won't become, and I don't put myself in a position to win.
I want you to tell me two things.
Mm-hmm.
One is, we talked about, therapy and coaching and association and so forth, and you've had an opportunity to, be in the presence of and be shoulder to shoulder to some outstanding people like Eric Thomas and different people, David Chance, and a lot of people that you've had an opportunity to be with, and they've had an opportunity to be in your presence. First of all, tell me how those influences have affected you and how you have been able to take all of those things and move those things into your ability to affect, not just, we talked a lot about the human side, the personal side, and so forth, but to move into the business side.
So what people don't know is, in the 90s, I was in the nation for years, for almost 10 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so when I say I was in the nation.
Yeah.
And wherever, like on the East Coast, wherever Farrakhan went, we was there.
Yeah.
So I had an up-close personal view. And I always got the best posts.
Mm-hmm.
I met Malcolm X's wife.
Mm-hmm.
I met Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all of that.
Yeah.
And I've had the privilege of walking with and being the armor bearer for some very influential pastors, seeing behind the doors, learning from them. I had the honor of, and people don't know this, CJ, I learned so much from CJ.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'll share some of that later. And then the privilege of walking with E, and learning so much from him. The relationship that Dave and I have, I learned, I'm gonna tell you one thing I learned from Dave: patience.
Yeah.
That, like, his demeanor, and it's a natural thing. Patience. And I love his well-roundedness, and he is who he is. I'm gonna share this. Here's a story. Throughout my entire life of walking with these great men, in my mind, I was always looking for a destination. Where's home? Where's my place to be? So when I was in the nation, I thought, this is it. I'm gonna be, at the time I was a student minister, I was a manager, lieutenant in the Army, like in the FOI, I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Walking with the pastors, this is it. This is walking with E and CJ. Yeah. I'm home now, this is it.
Yeah.
And I learned something. I put so much focus on destination that I wasn't looking at direction, which allowed me to say, every man that I walked with, I needed to learn from and prepare myself to create my table, and don't allow anybody else at my table to get stuck at my table. Get them ready for their table. And because of that, I was able to sit back and say, what are the lessons that I learned from each man?
Yeah.
Bruh, let me tell you something. I would go to CJ's house about to get emotional, okay? Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. This was the very first time I saw a man younger than me pray with his family in the morning. Have conversations like he was practicing what he preached. I had never seen that. And hear me, I said, I walk with some very influential pastors. With E, we was at the Super Bowl in Houston 2018, and Tobe was with us. I stayed at Tobe's house on that couch that day. And we're driving along. Dee Dee was with us too. And we had gone out. Me, E, and Tobe went out, and we stopped, and E wanted to get Dee Dee something to eat. And Dee Dee was ready to eat, and we was in traffic. It was Super Bowl traffic. Bro, we was behind the hotel, and he was on the phone with Dee Dee. He was like, yo, I need to get this food upstairs. My man said, come on, Kendall. We went to the back of the hotel. There was a big gate. He took his shoes off, gave me the food. He jumped the gate. I handed him the shoes through the fence, handed him the food. He said, I'll see y'all later. The traffic is not going to force me to have to wait to give my wife her food.
See.
I learned how to give up who you are for the one that you say you love. Yeah. Now, some of the stuff he'd be saying, he'd be like, I iron all the clothes. I'm not doing all that. That's just not what I do. But I learned some valuable lessons on how to build relationships and how to be a different man for your wife. And to answer your question, every man that I worked with brought something different to my education. The business part for me, and I'm gonna be honest, I learned how to do some business from all of them, but my biggest influence was as I was walking with Josh. I don't know if everybody knows Josh. When I was running the back end of ETA, Josh and I talked every day, and I learned so much about building a business from him that it changed my life. So now what I do is when I'm on the golf course with guys, I just want to have conversations. I'm learning. Yeah. And here's something you don't know. Every time you would sit in my chair and we talk, you were doing the prepaid legal, you were doing different. I'm watching your demeanor. I remember telling my son, man, Melvin smooth, bro. He laid back, family man, and he getting it in business. Like, I'm learning from everybody. And that's what I would tell everybody.
Thank you.
You need to be learning every day, every conversation. Learn from people's life experiences. Yeah. Don't get so like you know all you get. And because I used to be like that. You got to mature. Yeah. And so I'm learning daily from everybody. Every man, my kids, my wife, all designed to help me to be a better man in life and business.
Wow.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
For me, I look at it like, think about a tree. You got the trunk, but then you got the roots. The roots go down in the ground to do what?
To stabilize the tree
And
lay the foundation.
And get the nurture. It gets the nutrients from the soil and everything, the water. So I'm laying a foundation, securing a foundation, but now give me them nutrients and everything from the ground and the water. And now I'm taking that up through the trunk, which is the strongest part of the tree. And that trunk then goes up and say, I got some strength. Let me develop these branches. And the branches say, I'm strong enough to produce leaves. We're the trunk. We have a foundation. And then we start producing branches. Branches is business, family, kids, wife, all the other things that come from our life. If one branch is weak, it is because we're not giving it the attention that it needs. And for a lot of us, our business branch or entrepreneurial branch is semi-strong, but the other branches are weak. I don't want weak branches. Mm-hmm. So when I'm looking at my tree and I'm looking at my branches and my leaves, because I got a branch for kids, my sons and my daughters. The leaves are the grandchildren. And there's a season in my life where I was a horrible grandfather. I was a horrible father. Might be in some cases still if you ask the kids. However, as I evaluate my branches and my leaves, the first question I ask myself is, who and what am I neglecting? Sometimes it's the trunk.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's another branch. And I found myself as the CEO of Grindation. I was grinding. I'm going to get this bag. But I told my wife, I said, yo, I'm going to be on the road all the time. From this period to this period. This is the number I'm looking to get. I need you to bear with me. And when that season was over, she said, all right, I'm going to need you to bring it on in.
Yeah. So with that, if your kids, your grandkids are listening or watching this episode years from now, what would you want them to take from it? Your story here.
Yeah. Pop wasn't one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And if I had to say it in 3 words and a visual, get your picture, and at the bottom, Pop did that.
Pop did that.
Pop
beautiful.
did that.
That's
Pop at 58 years old ran a marathon.
That's true.
At 57 ran another one. I'm running 2 next year in 2026.
Yeah.
Why did Pop do that? He's showing you that don't matter what your age is, you can still do. Pop did that. Pop had a very loving, happy relationship with his wife and set the example. Pop did that. Pop came to all our games and showed us how to do. Pop did that. Pop cried in front of me. Pop connected. Pop got a tattoo because I wanted. Pop did that.
Yeah.
And so the only thing I want you to do is take the example. Damn what I say.
Yeah.
Watch what I did and what I do. That's the example.
Because what you do speaks so loudly, they can't even hear what you say.
But people lie every damn day.
Oh, no,
I watch podcasts. I'm like, I know some cats.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about action. I can say anything.
Yeah. Leave something for the guys. We know what guys we're talking to right now. Leave something for the guys.
I ask men one question all the time. On average, in a 30-day cycle, how many new men are you adding to your outer circle?
Mm.
Not inner.
Mm.
You know what the answer is most times.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
1. Now, if you're not adding any new men into your outer circle, that may eventually make it to your inner or not. But if you're not adding new men, then you're not learning, you're not hearing, you're not experiencing other men's wins and losses. So you're minimizing your growth. And why aren't you adding new men? Because you're stuck where you are. You're not growing. You're not developing. Now, watch. Yeah, you're making more money, but that don't mean you're growing. That don't mean you're developing. It just means you're working harder. In order to develop, in order to grow, you have to add new skills. You have to be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have dominion. If you're not growing and you're not meeting new men, you're stuck, you're stagnant. Now what? How do you teach and train and learn and develop? How can you be the example for your wife and your kids when you... So the first thing I would say to every man is make a commitment that every month, you're adding at least one new man. Yeah. And if you married, I'm making man a must.
Yeah.
You don't need to be adding no new women to your life. But even if you're single, add one new man.
Yeah.
And then add another new man. That process of having a conversation, connecting with somebody, yo, let's go have coffee, let's have lunch, let's chop it up.
Yeah.
Learning how to communicate, build relationships is a game changer. That's how you grow. That's how you're able to sit with Melvin and learn. Bro, I learned so much from cats in that chair. This is full circle because there are a lot of guys that sat in my chair that I built different relationships with.
Right.
That I cut for 10, 15, 20 years. Because of the connection, we're able to do this now.
And it's so significant that you can meet somebody and you don't see them for almost 20 years and you can pick up like it's nothing, and there's no agenda, and there's no isms or schisms and all of that. And it means something to know how you left people.
Say that again.
You know, it just means something to know how you left people and what you left them with, because I didn't even know you thought the things that you just said. I had no idea.
Bro, I could name some of our conversations. One thing I definitely remember, I used to tell my son, man, cutting his hair is difficult. Like, I used to have visions, like when I knew you were coming in, because, you wore it back.
My hair.
And you told me, you used to tell me, like, and I think back then it was going backwards. Yeah. But man, it took me a long time to even get confident.
To learn my head.
And comfortable to be, but it wasn't no easy, like, I'm going to go in. So even while we would be talking, in my mind, I'm like, yo, stop talking because I got to concentrate on your head. But for me, and I always tell people this, I wasn't the best barber or the best cutter in the shop. But cats didn't sit in my chair always only for the cut.
Yeah.
It was the conversation.
Yeah.
It was the consistency. It was the connection.
Yeah.
And so I tell barbers now, when I talk to barbers, the cut is only one part of the business.
My dad used to say, boy, your hair look like it's the post office. Everybody got a different route.
He right.
He right. He signed on to that one.
Man. Yeah. But no, it's always an honor because, man, you just don't know how people impact. I didn't know how much impact guys like you had for me from the chair until I grew and developed into where I'm at. And then I started thinking about looking at my phone as some of the guys, everybody's still on my phone, locked in. Your name's still locked in the phone.
Same here.
And I start looking and thinking about people, and I'm like, wow. Man, I learned this from him. I learned this from him. And you see people on Facebook, and I'm like, I remember. I learned he taught me. He invested in my business. Like, I'm like, man, best years of my life.
Yeah.
So far.
Here. Any last words for that guy?
Keep going. Keep being. Keep becoming. We're going to do it anyway. How much better can you get? How much better can you get? Identify where you are. What does 5% better look like? Not money. You're going to make money. How much of a better man can you be? How much of a better husband can you be? How much of a better father can you be? I got even this one. How much of a better friend can you be?
Yeah. So, hey, listen, for folks who want to follow you or follow your work and plug into maybe even your men's circle or learn more about you, and we didn't even get into your 4 animals. And,
yeah. 4 animals is the corporate piece. But my work in this season is men.
There you go.
Yeah.
So where can they find you?
Kendall Ficklin on everything. All my social media, website is Kendall Ficklin. Website is .com. All social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. They got me on TikTok now.
See.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this. I don't like posting on social media. I never did. I think 57, 58 got me, you know what I'm saying? But it's what I call a necessary evil.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
It's Kendall Ficklin on all platforms.
I understand. I don't like talking about me, but you just got to do some things. You know?
Yeah. But you do it well.
Because it's bigger. I appreciate you saying that, man. And it's been great. I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and I hope that this is just the first time?
I am always available when you call.
Okay, man.
We'll work it out.
Well, hey, listen, I'm excited to have had an opportunity to sit down with this gentleman, my friend, and until next time, keep adapting, keep adjusting, and keep reaching for those higher horizons. And we'll see you the next time on the Shattered Mindset Podcast. Take care. Take charge. God bless.